Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It is Monday night and it is good to be back. Wait, is it Monday night? No, it's Tuesday night. Ping. You have to know the days of the week, Ping. Jumping time zones always gets me. Yeah, it's Tuesday where you are. Tuesday. Good to see you all. We have some really big stories to cover tonight, including more information on the shooting of the judge that is coming up in a minute. But I have to tell you that I feel a as a person with a platform, as small as it is, I still feel a obligation to mention what's going on in the southeastern part of the United States right now. We've covered it a little bit, but before we get into the true crime tonight, I just want to give you a small update about what's going on with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. And the current statistics right now is 135 people have been confirmed dead across 6 states, a figure that is now expected to continue to grow. At least 40 of those dead were in the west of North Carolina, whereas 300 roads remain closed, which is hampering recovery operations as well as delivery of supplies like food and fresh water. It is really bad out there. Some of the aftermath images I've seen just look like Armageddon. I've seen some really bad storm footage over the years. I've been in some really bad storm footages situations myself. I've chased thunderstorms and tornadoes and things like that. I've seen houses destroyed. I've seen towns wiped out, that type of thing. But this seems different. It's so widespread. It almost seems like sort of like sort of like Harvey, but just way wider area. It's stretching from like the Big Bend area in Florida all the way up into the Carolinas and even further north. So what can you do at home? If you're in the local area, I wish you all the best. I hope that FEMA aid donations come in. If you are in an area that is unaffected nearby, donations of food, blankets, clothing, fresh water, like those giant packs of water from Walmart and things like that, that would be really helpful. And supporting local charities, not big ones like Red Cross, things that are on the ground that can take your $20 or $30 and actually turn it into something that will help someone. These big friggin' donation places, they're like money farms. And while they say, oh, we give 99% of blah, 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 you go through the car park and everyone's driving a friggin' BMW and their friggin' office is like 20 stories tall and looks like what Google owns. You know, that's where your money goes. They do some good work too, but your money can be better spent through localized charities. So if you are looking to give, that would be Ping's advice. I've given some personally. It's just my own thing. I don't tell people what I donate or whatever. But being that you all know I'm big into storms and meteorology, I've given some to some charities in the local area out of my own pocket, and I know you guys probably will too. But it's bad out there. I've just seen some really bad drone footage and helicopter footage. There's people that can't get home. They're like, look at this. There you go. This is in Statesville. Volunteers. Look at these nice people trying to help out. I've also seen this. Elon Musk is trying to help out right now with his, satellite internet company Starlink. So in the area, the local people were putting it on their own credit cards to get net up and running for first responders. And Elon Musk got wind of it through a massive campaign on Twitter, and he started to now push through a software update which will make his service free in the area for everyone. So it'll be really, really good. People will be able to get back online, and it won't cost a ton of money. I think he's also sending satellite kits out or satellite dish kits out there. So he's trying to get as many as he can from his production facility. It's really, think what you want about him, but anytime there's an emergency, he's always there to spend his money, get his company's stuff or products, and just give it away. He does that quite a lot. So Like, you might not trust him, and I know he makes a lot of money in other ways, right? But I've noticed in humanitarian issues, he does tend to try and give back, and he does things like this. He'll just turn off any money-free service and let people access it. He'll move, satellites and that over affected parts to make sure they can, access the internet and things like that. So he is, he's someone who makes a lot of money from a lot of people for a lot of reasons, and you may not like that capitalism, but you also have to give the good with the bad, right? You can't be biased. So he does some good things, and he probably does some bad things too. But right now, he's doing some good things to help, and that's what I care about. Yeah, so I have to start my show with that. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are probably sick of the coverage, but I would just feel remiss not to sort of just chime in very quickly at the start of the show and just let you know it ain't getting better out there. It seems to be worse right now. It seems to be really bad. Laura says, I was surprised at the price of gallons of water today. We bought some to donate to the local food bank. It's very kind of you, Laura. I think anyone who can do that or something like that, even just like one bottle of water, that goes to someone who needs it, right? Rachel says a friend's husband is a pastor taking a few trucks of food and water, so I sent him a few bucks to get cases of water. Good work. I like it. We'll see. Well, as far as I know, he pushed through a software update overnight to allow his service to be accessed for free. No credit card required. Hey, Elaine, how are you, my sweet friend? Good to see you. Hey, Mamma Mia, Laura T, DJ, Marilyn Landis, STL cards. Who else is here? Moonlight View. Oh my God, the legend. Who else is here? Is that all we have tonight? That's okay. It will be just us. Oh, my friend Penguin's here. Hey, Penguin. Marp, marp. Good to see you, Robbie. Hey, my friend. Okay. Trisha's also going to do this story, but as time has gone on throughout our channels, while we still have some overlap of people who came from Web Sleuths to this channel, it's starting to widen between the people who only watch this channel and only know me, and the ones that visit both channels. Does that make sense? That gap is starting to widen a little bit, which is it's supposed to do that. So I'm gonna run the story. Trish will run it a little later too. But I want to show you this. Remember a couple of weeks ago we spoke about a sheriff who went into the judge's chambers and shot and killed him? Well, today in a preliminary hearing, they showed a video of what happened, and I'm about to show that to you right now. This is your trigger warning. It is graphic, sort of. We've probably seen worse, but it's still pretty bad. Someone lost their life, so yeah, this is your warning. So you can see what happened. He was shot and fired on a number of times, several times. Pretty disturbing. And when we first spoke about this story, we heard that there was a rumor going around online that it had something to do with the judge and the sheriff's daughter. Well, today we found out that is in fact true. I can't verify that he was like diddling the sheriff's daughter or anything. That's the rumor that was going around originally. What I can tell you is the sheriff found his daughter's phone number on the judge's phone. He tried to dial her from his phone and the judge's phone to see if she would pick up, and that's sort of what escalated this into. So there must be some more background information there that we just don't have, or I don't have, but there must be a reason he knew that would be there. I don't know what that information is, but that's what I've heard up until today. And that is very disturbing at the minimum. So, hey, Sienna, how are you, my sweet friend? Sienna always has a great photo. Did you see that? She's stunning. Could be a model. Sherry, hey, Sherry, good to see you. That's right, the legend. Hey, Burnt Popcorn, how are you, my friend? Yeah, so let me bring you a little update on this from somewhere else. They're saying sobs rang out in a small Kentucky courtroom Tuesday as footage was played of a local sheriff shooting dead a judge after finding his daughter's number on the jurist's phone. They say Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines, 43, the accused killer, appeared in CCTV footage inside the inner chamber of his longtime friend, District Court Judge Kevin Mullins. In the chilling clip played in the opening minutes of the preliminary hearing, Steins repeatedly shot Mullins, 54, as he sat behind the desk. Mullins attempted to scramble behind the desk and a chair in the corner of the room, while Steins continued firing shots. In perhaps the most haunting moment, the sheriff then goes to leave but stops as his hand is on the door handle, shoves aside the desk chair, and fires a couple more shots into the judge before eventually walking out of the room. Here he is here. There's the sheriff in there. Also, apparently, he resigned today and he tried to make it seem like it was his decision. Bro, they ain't gonna let you be sheriff with a murder charge. You can try and twist it however you want, but they ain't gonna let you be the sheriff of the town with a murder charge hanging over your head. As the video was played, sobs could be heard from the public gallery. Two women could be seen confronting one another after viewing, comforting, comforting, not confronting. That would be a different story. Comforting one another after viewing the horrific clip. The court heard Steins had found his daughter's number in Mullen's phone and had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone amid ongoing speculation of a potential motive for the shooting. As Daily Mail exclusively reported last month, just hours before the shooting, the sheriff and judge, who were longtime friends, shared an outside table at a popular street-side grill and bar on Main Street for lunch, only a few hundred yards from the courthouse. The pair were lunchtime regulars together at the sports bar, and on that fateful Thursday ordered their usual, both having the $13.99 wings with a salad. Everything seemed fine between them, and there was no clue that anything was wrong at all, according to one of the staff who worked there that day. The court heard that surveillance video also showed Steins looking at Mullen's phone several times, then using his phone and Mullen's phone to try and call his daughter before the shooting. Upon discovering his daughter's number in the phone, he jumped to his feet within seconds, according to the court. He then opened fire. According to the KSP, they say that during the lunch, the pair had appeared to argue, and they say, I was told the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet in my private chambers, or do we need to meet in private in my chambers? That's all I was told, according to Clayton Stamper, who was a detective with the KSP. They said no further background was shared about this. The video and new details comes as a court seeks to determine whether there is enough evidence for Steins to face a grand jury. The judge determined there was probable cause and allowed the case to proceed to a grand jury. So we'll go to the next stage now of a grand jury, and we'll see if he gets indicted on what charges, and will it be murder, will it be manslaughter? We'll see. You would have to think that if these two were close friends, just having the number in your phone, maybe not such a big deal, because hey, if you're family friends and you had to call her one time to find her dad or something like that, you could understand, right? Like that 20-year friends or whatever, it wouldn't be unusual to have your friend's kid's number in your phone in case you needed to reach their father or mother, or maybe your kids are friends or something. That doesn't seem abnormal. So something else must have triggered this for him to be so irate enough to pull his service weapon and shoot the guy several times. Whatever that is, we don't know yet. But I can tell you that within hours of the shooting, there were people posting online on Twitter saying that the judge had been sleeping with the sheriff's daughter. Where that information came from, I don't know. But it was out like that. Minutes after it happened, people were talking about it. So I don't know if this was like a known fact in the local area and sort of like an open secret, but some people seem to know that it was going on. I can't verify it, and I don't like using rumors, but it seemed to have been everywhere. Now we get this part of it. We'll have to see if the other part of this story gets verified or if it's part of like when you get these stories breaking news, you often get misinformation mixed in with the truth. So you get like sort of a little bit of truth, you get a little bit of lies, you get a little bit of everything, and they mix together. And by the time we get to the end of this, like 20% of it will be true, 80% of it will be fake. It's just sort of the way this goes in the early days. How old is the daughter? I haven't seen an age listed. Let me just double check. I don't think I've ever seen an age. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if I've seen an age listed for her. Yeah, I'll try and Google it. I don't think personally when I've been reading these articles, I've not seen an age given, but let me see. Share a size. All right. Hmm. I don't have that information. Maybe someone more local might know, or Court TV might have it, but I don't see an age listed or her name. Like obviously her last name is probably the same as her dad's, Stines, but I don't see. Let me check the chat and see if anyone else knew because I've never seen it. She's 17. Hey, Jason, thank you. I appreciate it. A senior at the local high school. I appreciate it. Hey, Jason. There's a ton of stories in our small town about the shooting. See, that's why I reckon I was like someone local or more from a smaller town would know. Hey, Jason, I appreciate it, buddy. Good to see you, by the way. Um, Jason says there's a ton of stories in our small town about the shooting. I tell you, man, that information came out like that. I was live when it sort of started breaking, and I was already seeing people talking about it. And I was like, well, how did this information get out so quickly? And it must have been someone knew about it. Gizmo says, I've seen where the mother of the daughter says that it's not true. Pretty terrible if it isn't. Means that you killed someone for, just an emotional outburst that maybe could have been resolved in a different way. Gizmo's saying not true that the judge was sleeping with the daughter. That's what Gizmo's referring to. Hey Gizmo, good to see you by the way. How have you been, my friend? Hey, how you been? I miss you. I hope you've been doing well. Jason says, I've seen that as well. Yeah, it was very odd. Very odd. How did that information get so fast after the shooting into the public domain? And who was putting that information out there? That's what I want to know. Burnt Popcorn says, I can't imagine a 16 or 17-year-old wanting to be with that judge. Yeah, I can't imagine it either. But stranger things have happened in life, I tell you. Good to see you all. The reason we went late today is because my neighbor here is installing a new bathroom or something behind this wall, and it's so loud. And I was like, oh, they finished at like an hour ago. It all went quiet. It was like they left, and I was like, they're done for the day. They're back. They're back. Someone in the chat said she was 17. Yeah, we did say that today. We said that earlier. Maybe you missed it. That he did have the daughter's number, and he tried to call. The sheriff used the judge's phone to try and call his daughter. So we do know that. Hey, Laura, good to see you. I hope we're not going to lose internet like randomly because of the works. If we do, I may not come back, and I may have to come back on the late show tonight at midnight because I'm worried, but we'll see what happens, okay? So if I lose connection, I'll see you for the late show, okay? Good to see Gizmo. Yeah, good to see Gizmo. Gizmo is also the name of Reed Timmer's dog, his teacup Yorkshire thing, Yorkie. Or I don't know if Gizmo's alive anymore, but she was. She was. All right. I wanted to show you a story out of Australia. Very weird story. So this is Western Australia, the western side of our country. It says here, forensic testing reveals bone found at beach is human. I think it's Cottesloe Beach. They said a bone found in the sand at Cottesloe Beach at the weekend has been determined to be human. A member of the public found the bone at the iconic beach about 9 a.m. on Saturday. The bone was secured by surf lifesaving WA personnel before police were called. The bone has since undergone further assessment by a pathologist who determined it to be human. Police said further forensic testing will now take place to match the bone to any outstanding missing people. But I have to tell you one thing, in this area and in this part of our country here in Australia, this is a place where there are a lot of big sharks like monster great whites live over here. It's like just a known fact. Like there are just huge monster white sharks that live over here because once you get off the coast here, and I'll show you. So here's the beach down here, and it's closed right now for some reason. Probably maybe the investigation. I don't know, but you can see it gets quite shallow here. But then look, just off the beach, it gets very deep. Look, you can see that line. It's quite shallow for a while, and then it just gets the deep blue. And there are some really monstrous sharks that live out here. Because when we go like this, I'll show you. There ain't too much that happens after you get off the coast. Look at this, just water. This is where they believe MH370 is located too. Same sort of region, a little further off the coast. Yeah, so I'll show you. I think they believe MH370 is like somewhere down here or something. But yeah, you can see once you get off this coast, there's not a lot between there and Madagascar. There's just ocean, just a giant shark playground. That's all that there is. So if it came back that this person was a shark victim, there's been quite a few that have never been found in this location. I would not be surprised. By the way, it's not too far from Claremont. If you know Claremont from the Claremont serial killer, it's not too far from Claremont. There was also a woman found in a car here about 30 years ago. I think it was this beach, and they believed for a while that she might have been part of the serial killer for uh for Claremont. They believe she might have been a victim. Her car was found in the surf, and it was a weird situation. She was found dead. Yeah, very strange. So there you go. A human bound? No, a human bone found on this beach on Saturday near the Surf Lifesaving Club, apparently. It's a pretty public beach. Like it's pretty open. There's probably a lot of joggers and walkers that go here every day. But to find a bone, very interesting. What type of bone? They didn't say. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for your house. That's right. Hey, Melody, how are you? Blaze says, everyone, we are putting in a new bathroom here. My son and husband putting in a wheelchair shower and a new turbo cool toilet combo bidet with warm water and drying. Oh, luxury. Your ass is going to be so clean, Blaze. So clean and so dry. By the way, thanks for the information, Jason. I appreciate it. I hope you drop by again. I do. Yeah, you can. Hold on, my friend. We don't tend no one really tends to ask for it because they use the dollar sign, but I know people on Apple devices have issues. They can't do it through the chat. All right, here we go. There you go. There's the link to the memberships. Thank you, Gizmo, for thinking of me. I really appreciate it. Tia says, if I give you the address, it will ping right where my bedroom is. What are you trying to say? I'm a married man, Tia. I'm a married man. What are you trying to suggest? All right. All right. So I thought I'd bring you that because I thought it was really interesting. By the way, I have some really good news. Have some very good news. Later this week, later this week, we're going to have a guest on the show. I was able to secure down an interview. At this stage, it's been we both said yes. It seems like a good idea. We haven't nailed down a day, but later this week seems to be the time. You are going to love this person. Their job is hyper interesting, and I think you will all get a kick out of listening to what she has to say. And we're going to talk a little bit about a case we've been following. And then I'm going to ask her some questions about her job and where she works and what does her job entail. Because I think you will all find that as true crime watchers very, very interesting and about how they do their job and what they do every day, 9 to 5, and probably after hours, and what that what that takes to get those um, what it takes to get her job done. I'm trying to think of words that don't associate her with what she does because I don't want to give it away yet. But yeah, she's very, very interesting, and I'm so thankful that she agreed to come on. So she'll be on a little later this week. She's a little tied up right now, but sometime in the second part of the week, or at the worst, early next week. We'll see. But she's a lovely person. So, Gizmo, that is very kind of you. Any support of the channel is really appreciated. But hey, you'll get to have your nice new little colored badge. And I said badge with a B, not a V. Okay, don't get any ideas. And yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure how many we have now. We were at 65 at one point. 65 members. Can you believe that? And half of them are because Danny and a few other people, including Kathy Lynch, gave away 1 million memberships every night. So I appreciate those people. Tia says, because I have to go to sleep early by 7 a.m., it's 28/29 degrees Celsius. And by 20 a.m., it was 32 degrees this morning. That is very hot for 20 a.m. I am often quite hot at 20 a.m. myself. What is 20 a.m.? Do you mean 10 a.m.? By 10 a.m., it was 32 to 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is 32. That is very hot. That reminds me of summer in Australia. A lot of pinging tonight. Yep. Someone needs to call you and wake you up. You need a nap. You need a heat nap. Okay, let's continue. We have more stories to talk to you about. Sorry to be a little short on the judge story. Trish is going to do a bunch on it, so I don't want to like step on her toes too much. I'll mention this though. I don't know if anyone has seen some of the new Stefan Stearns stuff that's come out. I don't know if we all needed that. I don't know if we needed that in our lives. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I wouldn't go find it. I wouldn't go looking for it. All right, I want to check something out of New York. We were following a person who was found deceased in a home in Long Island. And I want to see if they did. There was supposed to be an update this morning. Let me have a look. News 12 Long Island. Okay. Ah, yeah. So it was this one here. Still no update. It's very interesting considering this person was found deceased in a Bristol Street home in Lindenhurst. Let me find murdered Lindenhurst. That was Sunday morning. It is now Tuesday, and I do not see an update for it out of New York anywhere. I'll show you the story again. So I've been trying to keep an eye on this one. This is from Suffolk County, and they say a man found dead in a Lindenhurst home on Bristol Street. And they said it was like 3:16 a.m. in the morning, and they located a man who was deceased inside of a home. They didn't say how they found him. They didn't say why they found him, and they didn't say if anyone called it in. They just said that they found him. It's very odd. They said here the street would remain closed until detectives complete their homicide investigation. And they kept saying it was like a quiet town. This is a little odd. This doesn't happen here. And yeah, here, a man's body was found inside a home on Bristol Street. Investigators say the body of a man was found at 3:16 a.m. inside the home. How did you know it was there? Dead people can't make phone calls. It's not like they can call you and say there's a medical emergency here. So how did you know he was inside a home that you can't see? They don't tell us that. They don't say if they got a phone call. They don't say if they got a tip or anything. They say here, as of Sunday evening, police had not released the identity of the deceased man or details on the circumstances surrounding his death, and no arrests have been made. I heard there was supposed to be a press conference this morning, but it looks like either it got cancelled or they're still waiting on maybe next of kin notification before they do it. But no update. Rachel says, I wonder if they got a call. It'd be interesting, right? Did like a neighbor hear something? Did a neighbor hear a disturbance and called in the police at 3 a.m. in the morning? I don't know. But yeah, there was supposed to be a press conference. They didn't end up doing it. And now it's been a few days since there's been any update about who this person is and how they ended up there. Concerning, right? Yeah, 3 hours ago. Oh, here, hold on. Is this it? Yeah, actually, there might be an update. Let me just double check this. Oh, is this the same thing? Yeah, okay. Maybe this is it. They're saying here a woman that goes by the name of Samantha Robson of Lindenhurst charged in fatal stabbing of Edwin Valentin of Wyandotte. Wyandotte, is that how you pronounce that? Uh, that is the same location, and it's Suffolk County PD. Uh, they're saying Edwin was pronounced dead on the scene following a 911 call, and the woman Samantha Robson, 29, was arrested and transported to hospital for non-life-threatening injuries she sustained in the altercation. She's charged with second-degree murder. This sounds like this might be it. Let me see. Samantha Robson was arrested. Okay. And then Edwin Valentin. That is the only source for this that I can find. So I'm trying to find like another source for it. No. Yeah, there you go. Samantha Robson or Robeson of Lindenhurst charged in fatal stabbing of Edwin Valentin of Wyandotte. So it won't let me scroll down, so you have to go like this. There's no scroll bar. Maybe I can do this. Hold on. Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen. Documents, nope, not that one. Sorry, guys, I don't like to be delayed. There we go. So there's the story. They say a Lindenhurst woman was arrested and charged in a fatal stabbing of a man inside her home. That would make sense that there was a second person because how else would they know that he was there? And they said the guy's name is Edwin Valentin. He was 34 of Wyandotte. Wyandotte? There we go. And was pronounced dead on the scene following a 911 call. That explains how they found him. They said the woman's name Samantha. She was arrested, transported to hospital. She had injuries herself, sustained in the altercation, and now she's facing. Yeah, here we go. The stabbing happened inside a Bristol Street home at 3:16 a.m. in the morning. Hey, we found it. There we go. So they didn't do a press conference. They just did a press release. No media call. No, it's not a mystery. We now know. The stabbing inside the Bristol Street home happened at 3:16 a.m. in the morning. How many stabbings happen at 3:16 a.m. in the morning and result in a dead man? Yeah. Investigators say the body of a man was found at 3:16 a.m. in the morning inside a home on Bristol Street. So I'm gonna go out on a thing here. See, there's the original article. Investigators say the body of a man was found at 3:16 a.m. inside a home on Bristol Street, and then this one says the stabbing inside the Bristol Street home happened at 3:16 a.m. I think it's the same one. Suffolk County, same street, same time, and that's how they got the call. A 911 call was placed from Samantha Robson because she had killed Edwin Valentin. Unfortunately, I don't have any photos of either of them, but even when I search her name, I can't find anything. Let me have a look. Lindenhurst. I don't think that's her. There was a photo of like some random woman with the same name from IFM Investors, and I was like, I don't think that's her. I don't think she works for an investment company. Let's see. Can't find anything about Edward Valentin either, or Valentine. Edward G. Yeah. Hold on, just let me check something here. That's interesting. What county is this? No, it's Pennsylvania. There's a guy with a very similar spelling name that was done for a rideshare essay at some point. That's the same. I would say so. STL cards. We figured it out. It's okay, my friend. Let's see here. By the way, I think I just got a whole heap of buzzing on my thing. Laura T. Laura T says, thanks, Ping, for always being sweet and respectful. Laura, I really appreciate that donation through Ko-Fi. Helps out a lot, and it's very kind of you. Okay, well, we figured out the mystery of the dead body in Suffolk County. There you go, investigative reporting from Ping. Let's move on. If I can get the thing going. Unfortunately, it's going to be a short show tonight. We've only got about 20 minutes left, unfortunately. Let me go to WAFB. WAFB? Yep. It says a TikTok personality identified as person of interest in Abraham case. Let's play the video.
WAFB 9 News at 6.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg and Liz here with you. So Baton Rouge police late tonight issued an arrest warrant in the murder of the Baton Rouge therapist, Nick Abraham.
That arrest warrant is for a 20-year-old. Police say it's a TikTok personality known as Mr. Prada. Terrion Thomas is accused of crashing the doctor's stolen car in Baton Rouge yesterday and then running from police. The warrant for his arrest does not charge him with anything related to the doctor's death. Abraham's body was found Sunday along a highway in Tangipahoa Parish, but investigators believe he was killed somewhere else. No one has been charged with the brutal killing, and anyone with information on the case is asked to call Crime Stoppers. Again, that number is 344-STOP, 344-7867.
Put some coffee in here. For Sarah Timko, this freshly brewed coffee is a luxury made possible by the
All right, let's have a look at some of the details here. They say Baton Rouge police have issued an arrest warrant for a TikTok personality wanted in the case of a slain Baton Rouge mental health therapist, Dr. Nick Abraham. The arrest warrant for Terrion Ishmael Thomas, 20, of Newellton, Louisiana, says he is wanted on charges of aggravated criminal damage to property, resisting an officer, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Police said Thomas is popular on TikTok, a personality known as Mr. Prada. The warrant did not include any charges related to Abraham's death. All the charges were related to Thomas allegedly crashing the doctor's stolen vehicle in Baton Rouge Monday afternoon as police tried to stop him along Sherwood Forest Boulevard. Police said the person inside the vehicle got out and ran off and was not apprehended. However, an officer later picked out Thomas from a photo lineup, according to the warrant. All right, who is this guy? Who is Mr. Prada on TikTok? Because I've never heard of that person. Who the hell is Mr. Prada? Let me see if I can find a photo of this fella. That's very interesting. Here. Let's go to the sheriff. Because, why not? Let's save that. All right, I'm going to show you a person of interest photo from the sheriff now. Go here. If it'll upload, there we go. So there we go, directly from the sheriff's office. That's what he looks like apparently, and that's who they're looking for. I bet you those charges, the one about the vehicle, are just holding charges, and that when they get him, those charges may magically be upgraded. I would suspect that is probably going to be the case. All right, let's see if we can find anything from his TikTok. Oh, here we go. Here's a better photo of the young fella. A close-up photo. And they're saying that this person is the same person. What do you think? This is a photo from his social media. Do you think that is the same person from the sheriff leaflet that they gave out? Let me know. Is that the same person as this? I would say yes, but someone may accuse me of saying all black people look alike. I think they got a very similar facial structure. You guys will have to let me know. Burnt Popcorn says looks like it. Rachel says looks like him. I think that is probably the case. So where is he hiding out now? And has he skipped town and gone somewhere else? Let me look. Let me see if he's disappeared. They're saying Fox 8. Hold on. No, okay. He hasn't been apprehended, according to news reports.
Now, Baton Rouge police identifying a suspect in the case of the man found dead in a tarp in Tangipahoa Parish. Right now, Terrion Ishmael Thomas is wanted for criminal damage to property, resisting an officer, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Baton Rouge police say he's a suspect in the killing of well-known Baton Rouge therapist William Nick Abraham. Officers say he was seen driving Abraham's stolen car. Chris Welty reports.
The death of 69-year-old William Abraham, better known as Nicky, is slowly sinking in for friends and loved ones.
I think we all take turns wailing, just the outbursts on the floor, on your knees. How can this happen?
Longtime friend and former Baton Rouge journalist Whitney Van says Abraham's death is sobering. Over the weekend, deputies say Abraham's body was found wrapped in a tarp and dumped in a Tangipahoa Parish ditch. According to the coroner, he was killed by blunt force trauma to the head and neck.
It was a very physical and violent death.
the savageness, the brutality, the inhumanity of whoever did this to him is just wretched, because you think about their last minutes, right? Terrified, fearful.
Abraham was once a priest, but also a musician and author. He was also a regular on a Baton Rouge newscast as Dr. Nick. Van says viewers fell in love with the doctor who was made for TV.
And you know, somebody's magical when you immediately say, I want to have him back. And we started having him on once a month for a mental health segment. He just has this magnetism and charisma and light to the world that everyone gravitated toward.
One of Van's fondest memories is when she and Abraham rode in a Spanish Town parade.
And to this day, we both always said, yep, that was it. Can't top it. Can't top it. It was great. He was always just fun and lively and a community servant.
Van says amid the pain, one thing is bringing her comfort.
I do think he's in heaven. I think he's up there and we'll meet. And he loved his mom and daddy so much and he loved Jesus. So we're holding to that.
Once again, and here's a look at Terrion Thomas. The Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office released this photo and say he is the last person known to drive Abraham's car. The East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office and Baton Rouge Police are assisting. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers or the Sheriff's Office.
Very sad to hear about what sounds like a well-loved man who did a lot for his patients, but also tried to help the public through, local TV and, obviously tried to get a little bit of profile for himself, but sounds like he was trying to help people as well. Sad to lose someone like that from the world and not, uh, you know, not something we ever want to see. Hopefully, they can find this young man and bring him to
And that
the sheriff and find out
look
what
at
exactly
Terrion
is his part in this ordeal and why did he have the vehicle? Why did he have why did he have the murdered man's vehicle? And what was he doing with it? And what, if any, connection does he have to the death of that man? That really needs to be answered. So yeah, let's read a little bit more here. This will be our last story for the night until the late show. Hey Candy, how are you, my friend? Yeah, here's a photo of him. It says here, the Baton Rouge Police Department obtained an arrest warrant for the 20-year-old Terrion Ishmael Thomas, and he's known as Mr. Prada on TikTok, in the connection with the homicide of a 69-year-old Baton Rouge therapist, William Nicholas Nick Abraham. Abraham's body was found wrapped in a tarp and dumped in a ditch on Sunday along Highway 51 between Fluka and the village of Tangipahoa. Is that how you pronounce that? Surveillance footage from a store in the area, I'm not going to pronounce that, captured an image of Thomas, who investigators believe was the last person to be seen driving Abraham's vehicle. So these photos directly connect him to the murdered man's vehicle not long after his body was found dumped with a tarp wrapped around him. They said authorities attempted to stop the stolen vehicle on Monday afternoon in Baton Rouge, but the driver reportedly backed into an officer's marked unit and fled. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Stuff going on out the back. Yeah, so there we go. They say Abraham was a well-known Baton Rouge therapist and former Catholic priest. They say he died from blunt force trauma to the head and neck and shoulders, according to officials. They described it as a very physical, very violent death. Abraham's body was found on Sunday morning by a passerby who noticed a suspicious tarp on the side of the highway. Detectives believe the body was dumped there on Saturday evening. Investigators are still working to determine where the murder occurred. A search of Baton Rouge home revealed no signs of a crime. They say he was a familiar face in the Baton Rouge area, having appeared on cable television as a mental health therapist. His attorney says he is shocked over the brutal nature of his demise and death. They got to find this kid, they really do. Yeah, apparently a former priest turned therapist. Yeah, sometimes some people consider priests are therapists, so there you go. Yeah, very interesting. I hope they find this guy. Here he is one last time for our people that live in the Baton Rouge area. There's his photo from his social media to a closer up photo. If you see him, call him in to 911 or the Baton Rouge Police Department. He needs to come into custody and answer what the hell is going on and how did that man end up in a tarp and why do you have his vehicle and why did you hit a police car? That is an interesting thing to happen too. Like, why did you ram a cop? So there we go. There we go. I think that's it for this early show, guys. I know it was a really short show tonight. I'm sorry about that. The building works are just so annoying. They're driving my anxiety through the wall. I hope by the time we come back after Trisha's show, they'll be done and we can have a longer show this afternoon, okay? I'll give you a couple of hour show later this evening. And if you can't make it to the late show, that's okay. I will see you on the replay crew for that one. But these are your headlines for tonight, for Tuesday. I hope you had a great show. Thank you to Laura and thanks Gizmo for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. You guys help the channel immensely. And I will see you after Trisha's show for another one, okay? Peace out. Bye.